Okay, so last day we started talking about how do you multiply the situation where one term is multiplying many things inside of a bracket. And we did these arrows, and we said that the first term multiplies everything in the other bracket, and we just sort of set out those calculations. Some people really understood it. Some people needed some time to work with this. I'm going to show you a couple of different methods today to do the same kind of calculation. You pick the method that works the best for you. All right, so first off, I'm going to start off with the method that we discussed last day. And last day I said, hey, look at the bracket with multiple terms in it. That tells you how many answers, how many terms are in the final answer. So how many terms do we see here? Sorry? What do you think, Jacob? How many terms are in here, highlighted in blue?
2.
2. So our final answer is going to have 2. So I'm going to do this off to the side here, because I'm going to make leave room for the other methods. And we put a minus sign because there's a minus sign in between there. Then we set up each calculation. And we said, okay, the outside term multiplies the first term. So the outside term is negative 3x. That goes here, and it times the first term, which is positive 3x. And we write that down. And we go in the same order, because this blank refers to the first term, this blank refers to the second term. Then we go to the next one, and we go negative 3x is the outside term times, this is a 6. Okay? And we don't need to worry about this negative sign here because we've already put it down right there. So now we combine these like we do on our day 1 assignment. So we ignore this half. We go, hey, if we multiply these together, what do we get? Right? If we combine these together, what do we get? What's our coefficient? What's our exponent? Yes? Negative 9, yeah? And what about the variable?
x2.
x2, right? You multiply the 3's together. So you got negative 9. Then x, and for x's, we add the exponents. And we have that minus sign. And we have the green. Here, we combine those together. What do we get? Here. What would that be? Ethan? Negative 18x. Okay? Now we have 2 negatives next to each other, so that would make a plus. So our final answer will be negative 9x squared, 18x. Okay? Now for the people who are more visual, you can use something called the area method. And to do that, we set up a times table. Okay, just like that. You take your single term here. We're going to put it on one side, so I'm going to put that negative 3x here. Then you write the other expression on top. Okay. Now next is we draw another line here to separate out the terms. So I include that negative sign with the 6 because that's what it belongs to. Okay. So now our answer is going to be what is the multiplication in this box and what is the multiplication in this box. So you go this times this gives us this box. So this times this, what do we write here? Right? Negative 3x times 3x. What would that be? Ethan? Negative 9x squared. Right? Multiply the 3's, negative 9, the x, 1 and 1 adds up to make a 2. This box is this times this, gives you this box. What would go inside that box? 6 times the 3, which is 18. 2 negatives make a positive. So it's 18, and can't forget about the x. Okay? So now, our answer is what's inside these boxes. Now we need to put a sign between these two. Since this is a positive 18, we put down a plus sign. Okay, and that's method 2. Method 1 is the distribution method where we show all these calculations. Method 2 is that this is called the area model, which is we use like a multiplication table. It's a little bit more, a lot less writing, and you're less likely to probably make a mistake or forget anything because you just gotta fill in all the box. But when you get to, I guess, grade 10, you probably maybe start off with these methods, but you'll go to a condensed version of this. We just call it the rainbow method. It's where we go like this. We go, hey, we draw our arrow here, and we just do the calculation in our head instead of writing it out. We go, oh, negative 3x times 3x, that's negative 9x squared. Then we go, draw this arrow. This time you got to include the sign. Negative 3x times negative 6 is positive 18, so plus 18x. You pick the method that works for you. Okay? You can do this, you can do this, or you can do this. It doesn't matter to me which one you do. Okay? Whatever is easier for you. It's a personal thing. Right? As you go up higher in grades, you probably end up doing this one because it takes up less space. Right? But at this stage, you're learning. So you pick the method that works for you. Okay, so try. Actually, maybe I'll set this one up. All right, we'll set this one up. Remember, that it doesn't matter where that single letter is. So we go like this. I'll do the area method. I'll write down 2 plus C. And I'll draw that line here. Right? So we'll talk about this first. So in this first box, what do we write down? What is this multiplication? C and 2C, 2 here. What do we get here? Riley?
You can't really times anything because there's no number to time, so it's just 2c squared.
Not 2C squared, just 2C. Right? The C can't change, and the 2 can't change, so it's just multiplying those together, it's just 2C. Right? How about these two? Multiply these together. You get, yes, C squared. Right? Now your answer is 2C, and this is, since this is positive, we have a plus sign, C squared. Okay? And now I'm going to show the arrow method for doing it the other way. I'm not going to do all the writing the calculations because we did like 3 of those the other day. So, going this method, this times this is 2C. This times this is C squared, and it's positive. Yes?
So for like the homework, would we have to show like all our work?
Depends on what method you're doing, right? If you're doing this, that's fine, right? Saying that is if you make a mistake on this, there's less likely to get part marks. Whereas if you're doing this and you make a mistake, it's more easier for me to see where your mistake is, so you're more likely to gain part marks here. But it takes more effort, right? So you pick the balance of where you want to be, right? Okay, we're going to set up the area model here. 4x goes here, 2x minus 1 here. Okay, I'm going to draw that line. So what goes in the first box? Right? Has everybody got that written out yet? Have you figured it out? What goes in that first box? Right? You pick whatever method you want to do it. You don't have to do this method. So what goes here? Yeah. Ethan, what goes here?
8x2.
Yeah. What goes here?
-4.
-4x. Multiply these together. 4 times 2 is 8. X times x, we add the exponents. x2. -1 times -4x gives us -4x. Right? So this should be 8x squared minus 4x is our answer. Okay. All right. Now, suppose I gave you this area model, and I asked you what was the original multiplication it came from. What would that be? So it's something times something. What goes in the first blank? What goes in the second blank? Right? If this is your multiplication, this is your area model, what would go here? What would go here in the original question? So you're working backwards from what we did on the first side of the page. Ethan?
2x plus 4.
2x plus 4. Okay. What about the other blank?
3x.
Okay. So this is almost 100%. The only thing we need to do is add brackets around the 2x plus 4. Because that 3x multiplies all of this. So we need to just add those brackets. Now if you want to figure out what it equals, you can use your arrow method, or you can write out the calculation, or you can use the area method. I'll use the area method. 3x and 2x. 3 times 2 is 6. Then the x's, exponent 1, exponent 1. We add the exponents. That gives me a 2. Going on here, 3 times 4 gives me a 12. And we have an x. That is a combining thing, it's just an x. So we get 6x squared plus 12x. Doesn't matter what method you do, you get to the same answer. Okay? All right. We'll call it quits there for the notes, and I'm going to make your assignment smaller.